guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and welcome back to an all-new Black Ops 4 Zombies DLC 2 Ancient Evil video. Today I'm going to be explaining the full Easter egg ending cutscene for this map that was discovered earlier today by Scorpiolo, Unpunk, and Gavin Quadruple 06. Without further ado, I'm just going to play the ending cutscene for you guys now for those of you who haven't seen it, and then I'm going to talk about it after you have seen it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the excitement.
Thank you. But I fear it may be too late. If I die, they will return. But your father... is released.
No. Stay with me. She's dying. Go! Get my father!
Alistair!
Even though you do not yet know what you are, Scarlett.
No, it can't be.
There is still so much that you can teach me. I will open the library. The world will be mine.
Okay, so now that you've seen the ending cutscene for Ancient Evil, a lot of you are probably shocked, you're probably confused, you probably have very little idea what is going on, but today I'm going to do my best to explain everything that I know and can interpret for this cutscene, because at the end of the day, this cutscene is up for massive interpretations, which is great. I'm happy that this is the case, because I felt like with the Chaos storyline, it felt like it was really dragging up until this point. Although they had lots of really good lore, I couldn't really get into the Chaos storyline. However, this cutscene is so exciting in my own personal opinion, and I really do think that it's brought a lot of my interest back into the Chaos storyline, and it makes me feel a lot more inclined to go back to the old Chaos storyline lore and look a lot more into that. So definitely expect more Chaos storyline videos coming within the future. Anyways, to preface this video, what you need to know is that in between Voyage of Despair and 9, our characters obviously learn of the Gateway. We see the hologram of this within the Voyage of to Despair ending. We learn that this is located within Delphi, within Greece.
But I do know its location. Greece. Delphi, to be specific.
Then that's where we're going next.
And we also learn that Bruno has become corrupt by the cult, and we further know within Dead of the Night's music video that in order for the cult, the Order, to control people, they have to die, and then they have to be resurrected with the Scepter of Ra, which allows them to be controlled by the mask that they wear. Anyways, after Voyage of Despair, we make our way over to Delphi, and this is what we see within 9's intro cutscene. We're within this cave where we hear this mysterious woman talking to us, which I'll play a clip for you guys right now.
You come seeking answers. Hear my voice. The knowledge you seek was not intended for mortal man. Breathe deeply. The power of the vapors will transport you.
This woman is the Oracle of Apollo. We didn't really know too much details regarding her at the time we got 9's intro cutscene, but within the lore of Delphi, she was famed throughout the Greek world and even beyond. She was a Pythia or priestess, and she would answer questions put by her visitors wishing to be guided in their future actions. So she would give people spiritual guidance and stuff like that. The party seeking advice would then offer a pelamos or sort of pie before being allowed into the inner temple where the priestess resided and gave her pronouncements, possibly in a drug or natural gas induced state of ecstasy. And this is what we see within 9's intro cutscene. We inhale this vapor as instructed by Apollo's Oracle.
Let yourself fall through the ages, through time.
And it allows us to enter a hallucination where we go back in time to a Roman Colosseum, and here we obviously complete the Ra trial by dying within the ending cutscene, as that is one way to complete a trial. Upon completing this trial, because we die within the hallucination, we see that a portal opens up with alchemical symbols on, and then within Ancient Evil's intro cutscene, we then see that the reason why we entered the hallucination was to open that portal because it allowed the gateway to be opened up to Delphi, as we see within the intro cutscene, and we hear the Oracle talking to us within the intro cutscene.
Damn right, we found it.
She tells us that she has been trapped alongside Scarlett's father, Alistair Rhodes, and we must free her to free her father. Because throughout all the DLC maps, we have been trying to free Scarlett's father, who was taken hostage by the Order. We also learn within the intro cutscene that Delphi is underground on this map, and the reason for this is because the Delphi above ground was simply a decoy. It was a fake city, essentially, to distract the enemies of Delphi. And the Delphi underground is the real Delphi, which is essentially identical to the one above, but that is the real version. So that is why we are underground on the map. Now, throughout the map, we get to a point where we get a mid cutscene. Within this mid cutscene, we see that Bruno, under mind control of the Order, kills Shaw.
Mechanism. Give me a tick, I'm sure I'll figure it out. Honestly, why is nothing ever straightforward? Oh, I think this might actually be progress. Oh, damn and blast it all!
Stop resisting! He has to die! Now do it! Kill him, Bruno! Make him ours!
Bruno? What are you doing? No! Please! God! Bruno!
and he kills Shaw and then resurrects him with the Scepter of Ra. In doing so, Shaw is now also a member of the cult, because that is how it works. The Scepter of Ra has some sort of mind control property when characters are revived with it. So now the only two good characters left on our team are Scarlett and also Diego. Anyways, during the Easter egg, we managed to defeat the Warlord. This is the character that we saw when we activated the Sentinel artifact whilst playing the map. We see him watching above us, and he is also the character who shoots down the Pegasus when we are riding it over to the Pack-a-Punch area. Upon defeating him, we are granted with the Oracle's key. By us getting the Oracle's key, it allows us to free the Oracle. So at this current point in time with the ending cutscene, we free the Oracle from her chains, but our characters are in belief that everything is all good, because Scarlett is now obviously assuming that she is going to free her father, Alistair Rhodes. But all is not as it seems. As you guys know, the Sentinel artifact on this map is weirdly enough stuck within a statue of a character, and this is a massive hint for what is about to happen.
It's stuck.
Because within the scrolls on Ancient Evil that tell us storyline information about the map, we learn about the backstory of the Warlord. I will be making an in-depth video within the future going over the storyline of the Warlord, but all you need to know is that the Warlord forced the Oracle to activate the Sentinel artifact, which obviously causes the trial to begin, and it causes all the people around to turn into zombies. It's obviously what spawns in the Pack-a-Punch, the mystery box, the war weapons, etc, etc. But she is Medusa, and that is why the Sentinel artifact was stuck within a frozen statue. It all makes sense now. The Warlord used the Oracle to create a trial that was happening indefinitely. On all of the other DLC maps for Black Ops 4 Zombies, within Dead of the Night, for example, that trial did not happen forever, and the reason why we managed to complete that trial was because our characters died. That is one way a trial can end.
It means you are not worthy. Witch! Ragged! Pompous ass! Ah, bastard! Ensure the prisoner completes his journey.
Where is my father? What have you done to Alistair Rhodes?
On Void of Despair, the trial ended because we actually completed that trial, and that allowed all of the people on the boat to turn back into humans, and all of the mystery box and all of that jazz disappeared as if nothing had ever happened and the Titanic sank. Then on 9, once again our characters die, so that is what completes that trial. But on Ancient Evil, it's very, very different because this trial has been happening for centuries due to Medusa, aka the Oracle of Apollo. So the Oracle says, but I fear it may be too late. If I die, they will return, in reference to the zombies, because for some weird reason, the Apollo's Oracle has some sort of power over the zombies. When you spawn in on Ancient Evil, you see that all the zombies are stood still. We see this within the intro cutscene too. They're just stood still for a bit because she can control them, but only temporarily. We don't really know why that is. However, Scarlett frees the Oracle from her chains, and when she does so, for some weird reason, we see all this alchemical smoke going around, which we don't really know why that is happening. Now, this is known as Prima Materia, which is the ubiquitous starting material required for the alchemical magnum opus and the creation of the Philosopher's Stone. It is the primitive, formless base of all matter, similar to chaos, the quintessence, or ether. It's clear that the Oracle has some sort of power over these alchemical processes, but it opens up a door in the back in which our other three characters go to look for Scarlett's dad, Alistair Alistair Rhodes. When they do so, the Oracle pretends that she is dying, but this was all a trick. This was all manipulation, but something weird is happening. As Scarlett is freeing our characters, our other 3 characters are simultaneously looking for Alistair Rhodes, but they don't find him there. Diego is clearly realizing that something is wrong, and you see a glimpse of some statues. At this moment in time, the Oracle says, even though you do not know what you are yet, Scarlett. And then Diego says, no, it can't be, because he has a deep realization of who the Oracle is. He runs quickly, frantically over to Scarlett to rescue her in time, but it is too late. The Oracle says, there is still so much that you can teach me. Her eyes then start glowing, and so do Scarlett's, as she somehow is able to possess her. I don't really know why this is the case, because within the storyline of Medusa, she has venomous vipers or snakes as her hair, but she is not able to hypnotize people. So clearly Treyarch have taken some sort of interpretation on the Medusa storyline and the Oracle storyline, because both are aspects within Greek mythology and they've merged the two. And for some weird reason, she then kisses Scarlett. I don't really know why, but it allows her to see all of her memories and get all the information that Scarlett has ever possessed. So now the Oracle knows everything that Scarlett knows. But what is weird is earlier the Oracle says, you do not know what you are yet, Scarlett. So there is something deeper about Scarlett that we do not know. She is not fully human. So a big possibility is that Scarlett is actually a demigod. We've only ever heard of her dad, Alistair Rhodes. She's had pretty much daddy issues throughout the entire Chaos storyline. We have never heard of her mother. So it would make sense that her mother is actually some god or deity. Now, since we do not know Scarlett's origin and heritage, she may end up turning out to be evil. We do not know, as we were saying, who her mother is. What if she is an evil god? Her mother could have been a bad god. We do not know, and if that is the case, it could leave Diego as being the only good character left to try and save the world as our main character. Anyways, as soon as that happens, we see it transition over to the cave that our characters and Diego were exploring. In here, we see the Order, and we also see Alistair Rhodes, which is Scarlett's dad that was taken hostage by the cult in the center. So it all makes sense now. We obviously got this cutscene that you can see that shows how Alistair Rhodes was taken by the cult. Well, they're all dead. They've all been frozen to stone by the Oracle, who is actually Medusa. We thought the Oracle was supposed to be helping us. She was supposed to be saving us. She was supposed to be guiding our characters. But it turns out it was all deception. The Oracle and Medusa are the same person, and I love how Treyarch have tied 2 completely different people within the Greek mythology, and in this storyline they are both one, they are both the same. So we then see that Bruno as well as Shaw's forehead is glowing, as they have obviously been taken captive by the cult. However, I don't think they are under control by the cult anymore. I think they are under control by Medusa herself. She has gained the powers of the cult. Diego says no as Medusa reveals herself. The Oracle reveals her viper tentacles. Now, I don't know why Scarlett does not turn into stone here. We know that anyone who looks at the viper's heads will turn into stone. So it could be because when she did that thing where she looked into her head, that it caused Scarlett's eyes to close and she sort of faded out for a second. So maybe she's not directly looking at Scarlett. But even then, Diego does glance over in her direction. So I don't know why he doesn't turn to stone, unless they just never made eye contact with the viper's heads. But this is such a creepy scene. But then we see her eyes glow red, just like the symbol on the foreheads of Bruno as well as Shaw, and also Godfrey, who was also corrupt by the cult. But I think that Medusa has taken over the cult. She is now the one in control of our characters. She then throws Scarlett down to the ground. We don't know if she is just injured or if she is dead. We don't know what exactly Medusa has done to her, because within Medusa's storyline, she just turns people to stone. There is never any reference of her being able to mind control or anything like that. This is something completely made up by Treyarch as their interpretation of Medusa. You know, possibly allows Medusa to suck all the life out of Scarlett. So maybe Scarlett will die, but I have a feeling she will survive. But anyways, she then goes down and she picks up the mask that the Order would wear, and she walks over and wears it. So yeah, I'm pretty confident she is the one in control of our characters now. Anyways, Diego then tries to save Scarlett and try and get her to safety. safety, but you notice that they never really make contact with Medusa. Obviously, they would turn to stone if they did. And we see all this alchemical smoke going into the blue flames, opening up some sort of portal or something like that. The Oracle then says, I will open the library, the world will be mine, of Alexandria, to inevitably overthrow the gods. But it seems like she's trying to gain all of the knowledge possible because she can somehow read into everything, past and present, because she said to Scarlett, you do not know who you are yet. So Scarlett must be a demigod, and it would make sense because our characters have been able to succeed in all of the trials, which is unheard of. This is something that they should not be able to do, and it might be because she is a demigod, and that is why they've been able to complete the god trials on all of the maps. Anyways, it pans over to the statues, and we see that the Order, as well as Alistair Rhodes, fade out as the alchemical process goes all over. In the background here, we do see a cipher as well in these alchemical symbols. No one's translated that just yet. I'm sure it'll be something very, very cool, but I'll have a video regarding that within the future when that is solved. And then we see Medusa just stood there as all of the alchemical smoke goes towards her, and as we were saying, some sort of portal seems to open up behind her, possibly, and that is where the cutscene concludes. We're not sure what happens next, but this is very exciting. I have not been paying attention to the Chaos storyline at all, but now I want to pay attention. I want to make loads of storyline videos about it, so I will be doing that within the future. I'm going to go back and go through all of the ciphers and everything like that that I didn't really pay much attention to before, and now start delving into it. I obviously make really in-depth Ether storyline videos, but I've never really done that for the Chaos storyline, but now I am so much more into the Chaos storyline due to this plot twist, and I think it's amazing, and I really love all of the lore that they are taking. So I find this interesting because obviously Medusa has somehow become the Oracle of Apollo. She gives guidance to people, which was obviously all just manipulation, so she's essentially manipulated us into helping her, just like the Shadow Man. It's like we're seeing two symmetrical storylines. It is really weird. The Shadow Man is the master of manipulation, and so is Medusa, which also means that she expected this to happen ages ago, because I think she can see into the past and future. So maybe she planned this all out to become the Oracle of Apollo after she became a Gorgon itself. So she must have planned that out to trap our characters. She must have known our characters would come to her for help way before she became the Oracle, which means just like the Shadow Man, she is one step ahead of our characters. It would be funny to see a cycle within the Chaos storyline too. Can you imagine if we have two essentially symmetrical kind of storylines happening? Medusa most likely wanted to read this book within the library that the Order are holding alongside Alistair Rhodes, and this is the pages that were sent to all of the YouTubers for Ancient Evil. Now, weirdly enough, on Blood of the Dead, there is a poster that a lot of people think was a callback ages ago to the Chaos storyline, because it does show two characters that look kind of like Diego and Scarlett saying escape from the tomb, and now we have Diego and Scarlett escaping from a tomb. It is pretty weird, but maybe it is just a coincidence. Now, Medusa does have two sisters, however, we know that she's definitely Medusa and not Medusa's sisters, because the Oracle does mention them on the map who her sisters are. Now, in terms of what happens next, well, we don't really know. Medusa does have two different sisters, one being Ctheno and another being Euryale, and both of these are Gorgons, so essentially both of them are eternal, they live forever. However, Medusa does not live forever, she is mortal. However, they all have the snake head. Now, the weird thing is that as soon as Diego sees the statues, he immediately realizes that it was a trap and the Oracle is Medusa. I don't know how he realizes this so quickly. I'm sure we'll find out within the next map. I'm not sure what is going to happen within the next map. We'll probably be chasing after Medusa. I don't think we will defeat her within the next Chaos storyline map, however. I don't know when we're going to be seeing the next Chaos storyline map, because we know that this is the last Chaos storyline map within the Black Ops Pass, so there possibly might be a second season pass coming out next year after the Black Ops Pass that might feature even more Chaos and Ether storyline maps. I think that's highly possible, instead of us having to wait until the next game for the next Chaos storyline map. Now, Medusa's parents were two gods, one being Phorcys, who was a primordial sea god, and the other one being Seto, or Cratius. She goes by two different names. She was a goddess, and she is described as a sea monster. But I'm excited for where this storyline is going to continue with this cliffhanger, because Medusa is trying to rule the world. I don't know why. And another thing to bear in mind is that Medusa does also have wings too, so she is able to fly. All of the Gorgon sisters are able to fly. apply. I think I'm going to make a video within the future in which I go over all of the storyline of Medusa, because it is actually quite dark, and I think it'll be interesting to delve into the Greek mythology, because it's definitely going to set up the course of the future storyline for the Chaos crew. Because the interesting thing is that Diego is the only one left. The other two characters have become corrupt, and then we have Scarlett. We don't know what's happened to Scarlett, whether she is going to become evil too. We know that she is possibly a demigod, or there is something else special about her. And another thing about Scarlett is that Medusa says that she knows something. That's why she looks within her head, because Scarlett has some sort of information that can teach Medusa something on her quest to take over the world. Now, obviously, within Greek mythology, the way in which Medusa was defeated was because Perseus managed to behead her by tricking her into looking at her reflection in the mirror, which obviously caused her to freeze. Now, different variations of the story differ. Some of them say that he got her to look at the reflection of his shield, and others say that he used a mirror. Regardless, he ends up beheading her, making her look at her reflection, which stuns her because of her effect. Interestingly enough, at this time, Medusa was pregnant by Poseidon, and when Perseus beheaded her, Pegasus, a winged horse, and also Chisor, a giant wielding a golden sword, sprang from her body. And interestingly enough, on Ancient Evil, we do have Pegasus, so all the lore of Greek mythology is all tying together. I'm just not really sure what to make of it at this moment in time, because at this moment in time, it is still very confusing, and the storyline is really dark, to be honest. In the late version of Medusa's myth, Poseidon had raped her within Athena's temple. This is such a dark storyline to have within this, and according to this is what actually transformed Medusa into who she is, because originally she was a beautiful maiden. However, she was transformed into a gorgon after this horrific event, and it caused her hair to turn into the vipers because of the sea god Poseidon's actions. And Athena, bearing no emotion and finding no fault in Poseidon, was furious with Medusa, and as punishment, Medusa was changed into a terrible monster along with her sisters, Cytheno and Euryale. I'm probably butchering their names, but they originally were not Gorgon sisters. This was a punishment because for some reason Medusa was blamed for Poseidon's actions. A big reason of why Athena did this was because before Medusa had the snake heads, she was beautiful and was sought out by many. And Athena basically became jealous of her, and also Medusa was supposed to stay a virgin, so she was blamed by Athena for this. Often within a lot of people's interpretations of this story, they miss out this dark bit because obviously it's told in schools and stuff like that, but this is the actual most up-to-date version of Medusa's story. Interestingly enough, the symbols on 9IX do spell out Poseidon, so there's clearly something about 9, which was set in the 4th century BC, that is to do with the storyline of Medusa. Within the intro cutscene for Ancient Evil, Shaw does collect some of the potion that our characters inhale, the vapors, so I wouldn't put it past us to go back into the hallucination once again, because I think the time setting of 9 is when Medusa actually became Medusa herself, because as I was saying, because before this event occurred, she was a beautiful maiden, and this was punishment by Athena due to her jealousy. She did actually reject Poseidon multiple times before he became restless and forced her, unfortunately. So at the end of the day, Medusa is actually the victim here. Although she is evil now, it is really not her fault. She has been tortured by loneliness because she's obviously not able to have any interaction with anyone due to them turning to stone if they look at the vipers. Anyways, it's all very interesting storyline stuff, which I will be delving into within the future. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not if latest, and great block as far as zombies, news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.